The first light of dawn stretched across the arid plains of the Sonoran Desert, painting the saguaro cacti in long shadows. The desert, quiet yet alive, breathed with the rustle of dry winds and the distant cry of a hawk circling above. Amid this harsh, beautiful land, Miguel Salazar set off on his morning patrol in a dusty green jeep, humming softly to himself. Miguel was a young wildlife ranger, only 28, but already deeply respected among his peers at the El Coyote Wildlife Reserve. He wasn't just doing a job, he was fulfilling a vow made long ago as a boy, when he watched a rare desert fox die from a hunter's trap. That moment ignited a fire in him, one that never faded. Every day before patrol, Miguel checked his equipment like a ritual: binoculars, tranquilizer darts, first aid kit, satellite phone, extra water, and a field med kit. Experience had taught him that even a peaceful morning could turn deadly in the blink of an eye. On this particular morning, the desert felt especially still. The silence was weighty, not the usual calm, but something deeper. After hours of monitoring tracks near a dried-up creek, Miguel noticed something odd: small droplets of blood spattered on the sand. He crouched beside them, running his fingers over the dusty earth. The blood was fresh. His instincts flared. Someone, or something, was hurt. He followed the trail on foot, weaving through thorny brush and over rocky slopes. The path was winding and difficult, but Miguel pressed on. The further he went, the more pronounced the trail became, until finally, nestled between a jagged rock and a fallen mesquite tree, he saw it. A mountain lion. She lay motionless, her tawny fur matted with blood and dirt. Miguel's breath caught in his throat. A steel jaw trap clamped cruelly around her shoulder, its teeth biting into muscle and skin. The cougar opened her golden eyes and met his gaze, not with fear, but with pain and something else: surrender. Miguel approached slowly, whispering gently, "Easy now. I'm here to help." He set his bag down quietly, keeping his movements smooth and non-threatening. The cougar, though weak, growled low, not a warning, but a plea. He saw in her the wild strength of the desert, now betrayed by human cruelty. He named her Sombra, meaning shadow, for the way she blended into the desert's mystery. With practiced hands, Miguel worked to release her. He wrapped a cloth over her eyes to calm her and used bolt cutters to snap the cruel trap open. Blood flowed as he cleaned the wound with antiseptic, flinching with her every wince. She never struck out, just watched him with steady, pained eyes. After patching her up as best he could, Miguel backed away, allowing her space. Sombra stood, wobbled, then slowly disappeared behind the rocks, limping but alive. He remained there a while, staring at the broken trap in his hands, and whispered, "Run far, my friend, survive." But that wasn't the last time he'd see her. Over the following weeks, Miguel returned to his patrols, each day expecting the same routine. Yet sometimes, in the distance, he would glimpse a figure on a ridge. A large cat. Watching, then vanishing. At first, he thought it was coincidence. Maybe another mountain lion. But as sightings grew more frequent, always when he was alone and deep in the reserve, he began to understand. Sombra was following him. She never approached, never threatened. Just observed, from atop rocky outcrops or behind the tall yucca plants, like a guardian spirit of the desert. Soon, the whispers began among other rangers. "That big cat's tracking Miguel," they said. Some feared for his safety. But Miguel only smiled. "She's not following me," he said, "she's watching over me." They didn't believe him, yet. But the Sonoran Desert, with all its ancient secrets and quiet magic, had only begun to reveal the true nature of their bond. 2 months had passed since Miguel freed Sombra from the steel trap. The memory of that day never faded, it lived in his fingertips, in the image of her blood-soaked fur, and in the way the silence of the desert now felt, shared. As though someone was always watching from the shadows. Strange things began to happen. First, it was the rattlesnake that coiled near Miguel's foot one morning, until a sharp growl from the nearby ridge scared it off. Then came the day he slipped and twisted his ankle halfway up a rocky hill. Before he could reach for his radio, a large shape appeared between the boulders. Sombra. She stood still, watching, before disappearing again. But it all came to a head one scorching afternoon. The radio crackled in his jeep. Dispatch to all units, urgent. Group of longhorn bulls escaped from the reserve paddocks. Last seen near Canyon Trail, heading west. Aggressive. Use extreme caution. Miguel's heart dropped. The terrain near Canyon Trail was narrow, full of blind curves, loose stones, and narrow ledges. If the bulls went too far west, they'd reach the hiking trails, and tourists. He gunned the jeep through the winding paths, dust flying in his wake. He didn't stop until he saw them, 5 bulls, massive and furious, storming down the path like a herd possessed. Their eyes were wild, foam on their mouths. Something had spooked them, and now they were uncontrollable. He parked, grabbed his tranquilizer rifle, and took position behind a mesquite tree. He fired once, hit. The bull staggered but kept going. Second shot, another hit, another shrug. The sedative wasn't kicking in fast enough. Then the ground trembled. One of the bulls spotted Miguel. It charged. Miguel tried to run, but the terrain betrayed him. His boot slipped on loose gravel. He hit the ground hard, rifle sliding out of reach. The bull thundered toward him, hooves pounding the earth like war drums. He braced for the impact. But it never came. A blur of golden fur slammed into the bull's flank with a snarl. It was Sombra. The cougar sank her claws into the beast's side, biting and twisting with primal precision. The bull roared and staggered, swiping its horns. Sombra leapt aside and lunged again, this time forcing the massive animal off balance. It toppled to its knees, and the sedatives finally took effect. The others scattered at the chaos. Miguel, stunned and scraped, watched as Sombra stood over the fallen bull, heaving from exertion. She turned to him, those same golden eyes meeting his once more. For a moment, everything was still, the wind, the sun, the sounds of fleeing hooves. She didn't come closer. She just watched. He stood, limped toward her slightly, and whispered, "Thank you." But Sombra had already turned. Without a sound, she walked back into the desert's embrace, vanishing between the stones like a spirit returning to legend. That evening, Miguel sat on the porch of the ranger station, replaying everything. A senior ranger, old Mr. Benton, came over with a cup of coffee and asked, "You okay, kid?" Miguel nodded. "I am now." "You know," Benton said, eyes narrowed at the horizon, "my grandfather used to tell stories of a mountain lion spirit that guarded those who respected the land. Most thought it was just a tale." Miguel smiled faintly. Maybe it was. Or maybe, we just forgot how to listen. He looked out at the desert, where the shadows grew long and gold once more. Somewhere out there, Sombra roamed, free, wild, and watching. Not every guardian wears a badge. Some wear claws and walk with silence. We appreciate you watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.